Hello. In A.T. Robertson's The Divinity of Christ in the Gospel of John, the chapter Manifestation of the Messiah, page 55. This is the latter half of chapter 2 of the Gospel of John, the first clash with the Jerusalem authorities. The first impression that one gets from this vivid incident in the temple in Jerusalem is that of the feeling of Jesus himself. The synoptics give a similar account at the close of the ministry, which is entirely possible and reasonable as a last protest against the desecration of the temple by the money traffic allowed by the ecclesiastical grafters. That story in no way contradicts or makes incredible this one at the start. Indeed, if the thing could only happen once, it is easier to understand it at this juncture when for the first time Jesus, conscious of messianic authority, meets the abuses in his Father's house. He's doubtless well aware that his words and deeds mean the assertion of authority over the temple worship, in opposition to the official ecclesiastics, only sufferable in case the usurper should be the Messiah himself. Certainly Jesus did not look to be that as he came in the garb of a laborer, with a whip of cords in his hand. There was indeed a strange majesty of mien that swept all before him, but the Jews soon rallied on the outside and clamored for a sign in proof of his right to do such deeds, according to John 2:18. Perhaps they meant that as he had no paper as a token of legal power, he should give some heavenly attestation, since he claimed a peculiar relation to God. The reply of Jesus was not understood by foe or friend, but was remembered in garbled form against him till his trial. Jesus is here presented as conscious of his death, which is foreshadowed by this hostile attitude of the ecclesiastical authorities on this first appearance of the Messiah in Jerusalem. Jesus means also that his resurrection shall be the final proof of his claim to be the Messiah, the Son of God. It is clear that this attitude of Jesus is quite other than that of modern critics who say that Jesus did not mean to make any issue with the authorities and only gradually came to feel that he was a possible Messiah and did not expect death as a means of redemption from sin. The trouble about that view is that it is opposed by the Synoptic Gospels as strongly as by the Gospel of John. In the temptation there is presented the shadow of the cross, and that is before the incident in John 2. In the Synoptic Gospels, the death of Christ is soon plain in the background. The Gospel of John cannot be understood unless one is willing to see that Jesus, from the start, sees the path which he is to tread. Nor can the Synoptics properly be made to mean anything else. This subsection is entitled The Rush of the Crowd. Jesus would not work a sign at the demand of the ecclesiastics, for instance, his light refusal to the devil, but he did perform a number in Jerusalem which many beheld, and as a result many believed on him, probably as the Messiah, but certainly in a very superficial way, for Jesus distrusted their profession of faith. There were always great crowds of Jews from all sections of the Passover. There are always many who are caught in the current and borne along with any new popular movement without clearness of idea or depth of conviction. Fortunately, Jesus, as the Son of God, had the power to read aright the hearts of men, and so to guard his mission from these effervescent believers. He himself knew what was in man, not only in one man or in these men, but in all men in the race. Here we are given an instance of the knowledge of Jesus as God, no mere mind reading or telepathy, but the full insight into the human heart. Missionaries in heathen lands have to guard constantly against the rush of people after novelty, as well as against the bread and butter brigade. Next time, the secrecy of Nicodemus the Pharisee. John chapter 3. I'll put in a link to Did Christ Ever Use the Tetragrammaton? And this particular video is on Mark's account of that trial, where Christ is misquoted. Indeed, the saying in this chapter that he would raise up the temple after 3 days. After destroying it, that is. Of course, that's a total misunderstanding of what Christ is talking about here, which is obviously his own resurrection. Next time, the secrecy of Nicodemus the Pharisee.